Good morning, students. This is the first video lecture of science provided by us. Today we will study about light. Light is chapter number 4 of Advanced Physics. Before discussing today's lecture, let us discuss the mark scheme of science examination for board. The chapter-wise marks distribution for the theoretical paper of science is discussed here. The whole chemistry, chapter number 1 to 5, chemical reaction equation, acid, base and salts, metals and non-metals, carbon and its compound, and the periodic classification of element contain 25 marks out of 80 marks in board. Of course, whole chemistry too vital. Next, come to bio. The total number of chapters included in bio is 6. Among these 6 chapters, the first 4 chapters contain 23 marks. The first 4 chapters include the life process, control and coordination, reproduction, and heredity and evolution. These 4 chapters are the basic biological contain the basic biological topic, and these all also include a vital marks of 23. In physics, the syllabus has been divided in optics as well as electrical and magnetic physics. The whole optics, reflection, refraction and human eye, include 11 marks questions in board. And electricity and magnetism, chapter number 1 and chapter number 2 contain 13 marks. Now, which chapter are left? The chapter number 3 from physics, source of energy, and the last 2 chapters, nature resource and nature resource from biology. The last 2 chapters and our environment have been excluded. The remaining marks come from these chapters. So this is the marks distribution of whole syllabus. The aggregate marks is now 80. Now in this lecture, we will study about light, electricity, and source of energy. These all are chapters included from physics. The remaining chapters of chemistry and biology will be provided to you by separate teacher. Any problem? Now listen. We are going to start light. The chapter number 4 from H1, reflection, refraction, human eye, etc. light. तो अब हम लाइट पढ़ाने से पहले एक सिंपल सा हम ये बात कर ले कि पढ़ना कैसे है। बच्चों, आपको नोट्स पहले प्रोवाइड किया जा चुका है ग्रुप में। आप नोट्स को, ये डिस्कशन बेसिकली नोट्स का ही डिस्कशन होगा। आप नोट्स को पहले कॉपी में लिखिए। इस वीडियो लेक्चर को देखने से पहले नोट्स को आप हर हाल में एक बार कम से कम पढ़िए और फिर इस लेक्चर को देखिए। तो इस तरीके से आप कंसेप्ट को अच्छे से रिकैप्चुलेट कर पाएंगे और लास्ट में हर पार्ट के खत्म करने के एंड के बाद आपको एग्जाम के क्वेश्चन के थ्रू जाना पड़ेगा। तो हम लाइट शुरू कर रहे हैं। कंटेंट के बारे में डिस्कस करें तो हमको पढ़ना क्या क्या होगा। डेफिनेशन, प्रॉपर्टी ऑफ लाइट, फिर रिफ्लेक्शन ऑफ लाइट, कॉमन टर्म्स एंड डेफिनेशन, देन लॉ ऑफ रिफ्लेक्शन, टाइप्स ऑफ रिफ्लेक्शन, मिरर, इमेज, types of image, then we will discuss about plane mirror, image formation in plane mirror, property of image formed by plane mirror, then we will discuss a spherical mirror, types of a spherical mirror, concave and convex I mean, then image formation in both case, property of image and use, and lastly we will go through the sign convention and mirror formula, linear magnification of a spherical mirror and the associated numerical. This is the brief syllabus of reflection. Before discussing reflection of light, let's go through the definition of light. How could you define light? Of course, you have defined light earlier also. How could you define light? A light can be defined as, light can be defined in various ways. Light is an electromagnetic wave which itself is invisible but helps to make different things visible. This can be definition of light. In fact, this is the definition of light you have written in your notes. Other definition of light also include, light is a form of energy which enables us to see different objects. Okay? Light is an electromagnetic wave Now, we will go through these two definitions. Light has been said an electromagnetic wave. What are waves? You have studied in Standard 9 last chapter. What are waves? Waves are vibratory disturbance produced in a medium which propagate energy from one point to other point. Yes or not? And also you have classified wave in earlier section. The wave may be longitudinal, it may be transverse. Wave may be mechanical, it may be non-mechanical. What are mechanical wave? The propagation of wave which require material medium for its propagation are mechanical wave. At the same time, the propagation of wave which does not require any material medium for its propagation are called non-mechanical wave. What is electromagnetic wave? At this standard, you can easily understand that non-mechanical wave are also referred as electromagnetic wave. Non-mechanical wave are also referred as electromagnetic wave. What is meant by saying that light is electromagnetic wave? Since light is an electromagnetic wave, it clearly indicates that the propagation of light does not require any material medium for its propagation. Sound is also a form of energy, but sound is a mechanical wave. Why sound is a mechanical wave? Sound is a mechanical wave because sound requires material medium for its propagation, while the propagation of light does not require a material medium for its propagation. Yes or not? Light is an electromagnetic wave. Why light has been termed an electromagnetic wave? The term electromagnetic wave here represents that the propagation of light does not require any material medium for its propagation. Yes or not? Now, light has been termed as invisible, but it helps to make different things visible. How can you say that light is invisible? Suppose you are inside a dark room and there is no source of light. Okay? क्या तुम किसी वस्तु को देख सकते हैं? क्या कोई भी ऑब्जेक्ट विजिबल है? नहीं। उसी डार्क रूम में जब जैसे ही लाइट के स्विच को हम ऑन कर रहे हैं, हम सबको खुद ब खुद देख पा रहे हैं। हो क्या रहा? जो सोर्स ऑफ लाइट है वो डिफरेंट डायरेक्शन में लाइट को इमिट कर रहा है। जो ल्यूमिनस ऑब्जेक्ट से लाइट डिफरेंट ऑब्जेक्ट को जब स्ट्राइक करता, रिफ्लेक्शन के कारण उस ऑब्जेक्ट को स्ट्राइक करने के बाद जो रिफ्लेक्टेड लाइट रे हमारे आई तक एंटर कर रहा, और जब रिफ्लेक्टेड लाइट रे हमारे आई तक पहुंच रहा तो रेटिना पे उसका इमेज फॉर्मेशन होता है। जो रॉड्स और कॉन्स हमारे रेटिना पे हैं उस लाइट को सेंस करके ब्रेन इंटरप्रेट करता हम किस चीज़ को देख पा रहे हैं। हम किसी चीज़ को कब देख सकते हैं? जो बेसिक प्रीरिक्विजिट कंडीशन है किसी भी विजिबिलिटी के लिए वो क्या है? प्रेजेंस ऑफ लाइट। इन एब्सेंस ऑफ लाइट एनीथिंग इज इनविजिबल। We can see anything only in presence of light, but light is invisible। क्या हम सोर्स ऑफ लाइट से किसी लाइट को बोर्ड पे आता हुआ देख पा रहे हैं, या बोर्ड से रिफ्लेक्टेड लाइट को हम पे आई तक पहुंचते हुए देख पा रहे हैं? क्या नहीं। लाइट इनविजिबल है और लाइट के हेल्प से हम डिफरेंट थिंग को देख पाने में सक्षम हैं। लिखा गया लाइट फॉर्म ऑफ एनर्जी भी है। हाउ कैन यू से दैट लाइट इज अ फॉर्म ऑफ एनर्जी? कंजर्वेशन ऑफ एनर्जी। एनर्जी कैन बी ट्रांसफॉर्म फ्रॉम वन फॉर्म टू अनदर। फॉर एग्जांपल, इन इलेक्ट्रिक जनरेटर यू कन्वर्ट्स मैकेनिकल एनर्जी इनटू इलेक्ट्रिकल एनर्जी। एट द सेम टाइम इन इलेक्ट्रिकल मोटर यू कन्वर्ट्स इलेक्ट्रिकल एनर्जी इनटू मैकेनिकल एनर्जी। यस और नॉट? How can you say that light is a form of energy? We use solar panel at the top of house. What is the function of solar panel? The solar panel collects light energy coming from sun and transform it into electrical energy. Light itself is a form of energy. Thus, with the help of solar panel, with the help of energy converting medium, the light energy can be harnessed in form of electric energy. Just or not? Because only energy can be transformed from one form to another. This certainly means light itself is a form of energy. Thus, with the help of solar panel, it can be transformed into electrical energy. You also know that in the process of photosynthesis, sunlight is used. Sunlight in the form of energy is used. The transformation of light energy takes place into chemical energy when glucose is produced. Light itself is a form of energy which enables us to see different objects. Yes or not? So how can you define light? Any two definition is you can use any two definition. You can say that light is electromagnetic wave which itself is invisible, but it helps to make different things visible. At the same time, light can be considered as a form of energy which enables us to see different objects. Any doubts? Now we will study about the property of light. What are the property of light? Written in the notes. Go through the notes. You will observe the first property written is light is an electromagnetic wave. The meaning is simple. Why light is an electromagnetic wave? Light is an electromagnetic wave means it does not require any material medium for its propagation. Any problem? The propagation of light does not require any material medium for its propagation. Light has been considered electromagnetic wave. Okay. The best example to show that light is an electromagnetic wave is the maximum extent of atmosphere is 400 km. The approximate distance of sun from the earth is 150 million km. The light ray coming from sun easily enters the earth atmosphere, though in huge distance there is no atmosphere, there is no material medium. When in the absence of material medium, the light coming from sun reaches earth because the propagation of light does not require any material medium for its propagation. What is the second property you have written in the notes? Rectilinear propagation of light. What do you mean by rectilinear propagation of light? The property of light to travel in a straight path. Light always prefers to travel in a straight path. This property is called rectilinear propagation of light. Any problem? What is the meaning of rectilinear propagation of light? Light always travels in a straight path. This property is called rectilinear propagation of light. Point number 3, the speed of light. Though light does not require any material medium for its propagation, but the speed of light is not same in same medium. For example, the light can propagate through air, it can be propagated through water, it can be propagated through glass. Now, the speed of light varies with material medium. The maximum speed of light is 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second, which is in air. The speed of light in air is 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second, which is the maximum speed of light in any medium. Now, in water, the speed of light is 2.25 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second, and in glass, it is 2 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. The point is quite clear. The speed of light changes with medium. The speed of light is maximum in air, where it is equal to 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. Yes or not? Now, we will study about the nature of light, the fourth property. You have written in the note, light have dual nature, the dual theory of light. Now listen carefully. What is optics? Optics is the branch of physics which deals with the study of light. Okay. Now optics can have 3 branches: ray optics, wave optics, and quantum physics. I write these all things on the board. Now listen, light have dual nature, particle nature and wave nature. What is the meaning of particle nature? What is the meaning of wave nature? Now there are various experiments and various theory associated with light. Reflection, refraction, dispersion, scattering, polarization, interference and so on. Depending upon those theory, depending upon the studies of those theory, the study of light have been divided in two sections, in two broad sections, particle theory and wave theory. In particle nature, the light are considered to be constituted of a small microscopic particle. What are light made of? According to particle nature of light, light consists of a small microscopic particle called as photon. What are those microscopic particles that constitute light? The scientific name of those microscopic particles that constitute light is photon. Photon are those microscopic particles that constitute light. What is the meaning of particle nature? In particle theory, all those theory which are based on the particle nature of light, there we are considering light as the constituent of microscopic particle, and the name of and the scientific name of those microscopic particles are called as photon. In another case, the light can be considered as wave. Light can be considered as wave. Few theory in physics suggests that light composed of wave, and the theory based on the wave nature of light are for example polarization, interference, etc. Depending upon these two nature of light, the branch of optics is the branch of physics where we study about light. The branch of physics is further divided into two sections. The study of particle nature of light is termed as ray optics, while the study of wave nature of light is termed as wave optics. Any problem? पार्टिकल नेचर में हम ये सपोज कर रहे हैं कि लाइट स्मॉल माइक्रोस्कोपिक पार्टिकल को कॉन्स्टिट्यूट करता, उस स्मॉल माइक्रोस्कोपिक पार्टिकल को क्या बोल रहे हैं? फोटोन. वेव नेचर में हम ये सपोज कर रहे हैं कि लाइट वेव का बना हुआ, और वैसे थ्योरी और वैसे नेचर ऑफ लाइट को हम क्या बोल रहे हैं? लाइट कैन बी कंसीडर्ड एज ए कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ वेव. दोस थ्योरी इज कॉल्ड वेव नेचर ऑफ लाइट. Now reflection, refraction, refraction, dispersion are few theory that are based on the particle nature, while interference, polarization are few theory that are based on the wave nature of light. Yes or not? Now the study of particle nature of light in optics is called ray optics, and the study of wave nature of light is called wave optics, and the combination of ray optics and wave optics is called quantum physics. The word is quantum physics. Any problem? So what are the property of light? Point number one, light is an electromagnetic wave. The meaning of electromagnetic wave, it does not require any material medium for its propagation. Point number two, rectilinear propagation of light. Light always prefers to travel in a straight path. This property is called rectilinear propagation of light. Point number three, speed of light. The speed of light changes with change in medium. The speed of light is maximum in air, which is equal to 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter, 10 to the power 8 meter per second. And light have dual nature. It can be particle nature, it can be wave nature. Particle nature, what particle nature of light suggests? That light constitutes of a small microscopic particle called photon. And what wave nature of light suggests? That the light consists of waves. Any problem? Now, these were the basics. These were truly basics. Now, we will discuss about the reflection, the first topic in our syllabus, reflection of light. What is the meaning of reflection of light? You have studied earlier. Whenever a light strikes a surface, it returns back, and this phenomenon is called reflection of light. And in fact, जिस भी ऑब्जेक्ट को हम देख पा रहे हैं, वजह क्या है? रिफ्लेक्शन. अगर लाइट सोर्स ऑफ लाइट से कोई सोर्स ऑफ लाइट या रिफ्लेक्टेड लाइट है उस पर स्ट्राइक कर रहा, और एक सरफेस को पे जब भी लाइट स्ट्राइक करता वो वापस रिटर्न होता, और वही रिफ्लेक्टेड लाइट जब हमारे आई तक पहुंच रहा तो ही हम उस ऑब्जेक्ट को देख पा रहे हैं. हम एयर को इसलिए नहीं देख पा रहे क्योंकि एयर लाइट को रिफ्लेक्ट नहीं करता. हम उसी ऑब्जेक्ट को देख पाएंगे जो लाइट को रिफ्लेक्ट कर सकें. हम लोग पढ़ रहे हैं रिफ्लेक्शन ऑफ लाइट. व्हाट इज द मीनिंग? हाउ कुड यू डिफाइन रिफ्लेक्शन ऑफ लाइट? गो थ्रू द नोट्स. In notes you have written, the sending back process of light ray when it strikes a surface is called reflection of light, or the bouncing back of light ray when it falls on a surface is called reflection of light. The meaning is quite clear. जब भी सोर्स ऑफ लाइट या जब भी लाइट रे किसी भी सरफेस को स्ट्राइक करता, वो अपनी डायरेक्शन को चेंज करता. रूल होगा, लॉ ऑफ रिफ्लेक्शन में हम डिस्कस करेंगे डायरेक्शन क्या होगा. लेकिन रिफ्लेक्शन ऑफ लाइट का बेसिक सा मतलब क्या है? माना ये कोई सरफेस है और सोर्स ऑफ लाइट से एक रे ऑफ लाइट इस तरह फॉल कर रहा। सोर्स ऑफ लाइट से जैसे ही रे ऑफ लाइट इस सरफेस को पे स्ट्राइक कर रहा, इसका डायरेक्शन अब क्या होगा? चेंज होगा। अब इसका डायरेक्शन ये इस तरह रिटर्न हो रहा। इसी फेनोमेना को हम क्या बोलेंगे? रिफ्लेक्शन। लाइट रे या बीम ऑफ लाइट और बंडल ऑफ लाइट जब भी एक सरफेस को स्ट्राइक करता वो वापस रिटर्न होता, और इसी प्रोसेस को हम क्या बोलते हैं? रिफ्लेक्शन। माना एक और रे ऑफ लाइट इस तरह आ रहा, ये भी इस तरह रिटर्न हो रहा, ये प्रोसेस क्या है? रिफ्लेक्शन। रिफ्लेक्शन का मतलब जब भी रे ऑफ लाइट किसी भी सरफेस को हिट कर रहा तो वो रिटर्न होता, इस प्रोसेस को हम क्या बोलेंगे? रिफ्लेक्शन ऑफ लाइट। यस और नॉट? हाउ टू डिफाइन रिफ्लेक्शन ऑफ लाइट? The bouncing back of light ray when it strikes a surface is called reflection of light, or the sending back process of light ray when it strikes a surface is called reflection of light. Okay. Now, before discussing reflection of light before discussing law of reflection, before discussing types of reflection, let's go through common terms and definition. Now, we will understand six definitions related to the six basic definitions related to light. These are: point number 1 will be incident ray. Then we will study point of incidence. Then we will study normal. Then we will study let's go through these six definitions related to light: incident ray, point of incidence, normal, reflected ray, angle of incidence, and angle of reflection. Quite they are common, but they are included in the syllabus. I will go through them. Now listen. Suppose this to be a surface. Okay. Consider from a source of light, a ray of light is falling on a surface like this. Okay. Mark is at AO. AO will be incident ray. Have you understand what is the meaning of incident ray? How could you define incident ray? The light ray which falls on the surface is called incident ray. The light ray which approaches the surface is called incident ray. O is incident ray. Why O is incident ray? Because from source of light, OA is falling on the surface. It is incidenting on the surface. OA will be incident ray. How could you define incident ray? What is the meaning of incident ray? The light ray which falls on the surface is called incident ray. Any doubt? Now suppose M dash be the whole surface. क्या OA इंसिडेंट रे पूरे सरफेस से यूनिफॉर्मली गिर रहा? नहीं, ये सरफेस के एक पॉइंट पे फॉल कर रहा. ओके, द पॉइंट इज O. देखो पॉइंट ऑफ इंसिडेंस वही होगा, सरफेस के जिस पॉइंट पे इंसिडेंट रे फॉल कर रहा उस पॉइंट को हम क्या बोलेंगे? पॉइंट ऑफ इंसिडेंस. O is point of incidence. Why O is point of incidence? Because the incident ray OH is touching the surface at point O. It is falling on the surface at point O. O will be the point of incidence. Yes or not? How could you define point of incidence? The point on the surface where incident ray fall is called point of incidence. Yes or not? Have you familiar with the definition of incident ray and point of incidence? The light ray which falls on the surface is called incident ray, and the point on the surface where incident ray fall is called point of incidence. Yes or not? Now go through normal. O is the point of incidence and M dash is the surface. Now a perpendicular an imaginary perpendicular has to be drawn from point of incidence, perpendicular to the surface. Let ON. Now listen, ON has been drawn perpendicular on the surface from point of incidence. ON will be called as normal. How could you define normal? The perpendicular drawn from the point of incidence is called normal. The perpendicular drawn at the point of incidence from the surface is called normal. Any doubt? What is normal? ON. ON represent normal. Why ON normal? ON is an imaginary line which is drawn perpendicular from the surface at the point of incidence. ON will be normal. Yes or not? For different point of incidence, for different incident ray, there can be different point of incident, and you have to draw respective normal for all point of incidence. Yes or not? Now reflected ray. As per reflection of light, whenever light strikes a surface, it returns back. Yes or not? Now from source of light, AO is falling on the surface. O is the point of incident. At O, the light ray OA strikes the surface and return back. Suppose OB is the return path of the light ray. OB is the reflected ray. In fact, reflection is happening here. How could you define reflected ray? The light ray will return from the surface after reflection is called reflected ray. Why OB is reflected? Why OB is reflected ray? Because OB returning from the surface when? After hitting M dash at O. Yes or not? Now angle of incident. यहाँ पे कंफ्यूजन काफ़ी होता, इस बात को थोड़ा गौर से अब यहाँ पे समझना पड़ेगा, थोड़ा ध्यान से आप देखो। ये काफ़ी सिंपल है, कुछ खास नहीं है, लेकिन मिसकंसेप्ट के कारण यहाँ पे काफ़ी प्रॉब्लम होता। तुम यहाँ देख पाओ, ये इंसिडेंट रे है और ये नॉर्मल। ओके, इंसिडेंट रे सरफेस के साथ भी एंगल बना रहा, इंसिडेंट रे नॉर्मल के साथ भी एंगल बना रहा, ठीक है, एट द सेम टाइम। ये रिफ्लेक्टेड रे है और ये नॉर्मल, रिफ्लेक्टेड रे नॉर्मल के साथ भी एंगल बना रहा और रिफ्लेक्टेड रे सरफेस के साथ भी एंगल बना रहा। ओके, एंगल ऑफ इंसिडेंट क्या होगा? एंगल ऑफ इंसिडेंट वो एंगल है जो इंसिडेंट रे नॉर्मल के साथ बना रहा हूँ। इंसिडेंट रे एंगल कौन सा बना रहा है? एंगल AON, एंगल AON, ये एंगल ऑफ इंसिडेंट है। हाउ टू डिफाइन एंगल ऑफ इंसिडेंट्स? The angle between incident ray and normal is called angle of incident. Here angle AON will be angle of incidence because angle AON normal और incident ray के बीच का एंगल है। क्या तुम एंगल ऑफ इंसिडेंट को डिफाइन कर सकते हो? How to define angle of incidence? The angle between incident ray and normal is called angle of incidence. Here angle of incident will be angle AON. So what will be angle MOA? Tell. It will be 90 minus angle I. इस एंगल को पढ़ेंगे क्या? इट इज द एंगल MOA इज द एंगल द इंसिडेंट रे इज मेकिंग विद द सरफेस। एनी प्रॉब्लम? ये एंगल ऑफ इंसिडेंट नहीं है, एंगल ऑफ इंसिडेंट एंगल AON होगा। ये एंगल ऑफ इंसिडेंट है, ये एंगल ऑफ इंसिडेंट इसलिए है क्योंकि यही एंगल इंसिडेंट नॉर्मल के साथ बना रहा। एंगल AON एंगल ऑफ इंसिडेंट नहीं होगा, ऐसा इसलिए क्योंकि ये एंगल इंसिडेंट सरफेस के साथ बना रहा। क्या डेफिनेशन समझ में एंगल ऑफ इंसिडेंट का? द एंगल बिटवीन इंसिडेंट एंड नॉर्मल इज कॉल्ड एंगल ऑफ इंसिडेंस। नाउ एंगल ऑफ रिफ्लेक्शन, OB the reflected ray. The angle between reflected and normal is called angle of reflection. Okay, angle BON represent angle of reflection. How to define angle of reflection? The angle between reflected and normal is called angle of reflection, and angle BOM dash is the angle made by reflected ray with the surface, and it will be equal to 90 minus angle R. Any problem? Any problem? Now listen, what is the meaning of incident ray? The light ray which falls on the surface is called incident ray. What is the meaning of point of incidence? The point on the surface where incident ray fall is called point of incidence. What is the meaning of normal? The perpendicular drawn at the point of incidence is called normal. What is reflected ray? The light ray returned from the surface after reflection is called reflected ray. What is the meaning of angle of incidence? The angle between incident ray and normal is called angle of incidence. And what is the meaning of angle of reflection? The angle between reflected and normal is called angle of reflection. These are basics, common terms and definition. Now, based on this approach, based on this definition, now we will learn about the laws of reflection. और करें क्या?